Hi, I'm Sean Zerillo from the Action Network, and I'm joined today by action horse racing expert Mike Conti to break down the Midsummer Derby. It's the 152nd running of the Travers Stakes in Saratoga, New York. Going to post at 6:12 p.m. on Saturday, and your morning line favorite, the number 2 Essential Quality. 4 to 5 on the odds board, may even be shorter by post time. Your Belmont Stakes winner missed the Kentucky Derby by a length, and that's the only blemish on his record. 6 graded stakes wins. The rest of this field has 3 combined. Personally finding it very difficult to go against the chalk in this race. Mike Conti, curious to hear your thoughts. Do you have any interest or possibility of betting against the Essential Quality here?
No, there's just, I have no interest. I don't think there's any way he loses. He was the 2-year-old champ. I believe he's well on his way to being the 3-year-old champ. There is no way. I don't see anybody here that is going to be disruptive in the way that he runs his race, that's going to be able to upset Essential Quality in this spot. This is a horse that is so smart, Sean. He knows exactly where the wire is. He's never going to blow a field away, but he's always going to get his nose down when it matters most as they're crossing the wire. When you look back to the Jim Dandy, you could say, wow, well, Keep Me in Mind only lost by a half a length. Keep Me in Mind got a perfect trip. Essential Quality got nowhere near a perfect trip and still found a way to win. He's just a winner. He's a grinder. He knows how to get it done. He can put his nose down on the wire. I find it very hard to pick against the 2-year-old champ, who I believe will be the 3-year-old champ in Essential Quality.
Yeah, caught very wide in the Derby, still finished up really strong. Actually, probably ran the best race that day, picked against him on Derby day, but I think he was the best horse on that day on adjusted fee per second, and then came back and ran a fantastic Belmont. Caught wide in the Jim Dandy, still ended up finishing up first. So definitely a tough test for anybody to overcome. If he runs his best race, nobody's going to beat him. Even if he doesn't run his best race, I think one of the other horses is going to need to run to their career best in order to do it. Have a couple horses I'm looking at picking underneath for exotic purposes. I think we're on the same page with one of them. Tell me where your price horses are in terms of trifectas, maybe even some superfecta action.
Yeah, one horse that you have to use, in my opinion, underneath in your exotics is number 7, King Fury. King Fury, 15 to 1 on the morning line, so a huge price. Last time out, they put him on the Kenny McPeak put him on the turf in the Saratoga Derby Invitational Grade 1. Didn't really run well. He's not bred necessarily for the turf, not bred for the turf either. But if you look back, to the Ohio Derby, didn't win, but finished a really good second in that spot. He won the Lexington. There are people out there that are saying, oh, the Lexington caught a perfect setup on a sloppy racetrack. At the end of the day, he was able to navigate and came from the clouds in that race in order to close to win. He's clearly going to need some pace to run into in this spot. But at the distance, a deep closer like this, especially at a huge price, is a great horse to include in your exotics to really enhance the payout, especially if you believe, like we do, that Essential Quality is going to win the race.
Yeah, we're both on the number 7 King Fury as a price horse to use. I don't know if that 15 to 1 number is going to stick around. It definitely seems off compared to the rest of the field. King Fury and the number 4 Dynamic One, they were both 20 to 1 shots on Derby day. King Fury ended up scratching out of that race. Dynamic One didn't really pick up his feet. Went back into training for Todd Pletcher. And it seems like the lights came on since that Derby trail. Now, he really likes the distance. More than that, he's got Irad Ortiz Jr. on board. So should be getting a great ride. I think this sets up really well for Dynamic One to potentially pick up some pieces. Midnight Bourbon getting a lot of buzz as he was throughout the Derby trail. But I think he's potentially a little bit overrated. So the 2 horses I'm using underneath, the number 4 Dynamic One, the number 7 King Fury. Mike likes King Fury as well. And we both like the number 2 Essential Quality to sort of lay over this field. Now, this is a pretty chalky pick 6, pick 5 sequence in general, starting out with Gamine, Bob Baffert's horse. There is, though, some potential opportunity to go against the big chalk in these spots. We're looking at race 10, the Personal Ensign. This is an absolutely loaded field. The favorite, LETRUSKA, coming in here, potential horse of the year candidate. Conti, you have some interest in betting against her. Tell me where you're going in this race.
Yeah, listen, nothing against LETRUSKA. 6 to 5 is way too short of a price. Like you mentioned, you've got a really deep field with some high quality horses. You've got obviously Swiss Skydiver, who won the Preakness last year. She's come back and had a pretty good 4-year-old campaign. I think has underperformed to some extent. Last time out, Knicks Go and the Whitney, was no match for the likes of Knicks One, Maxfield, and Silver Slate. But a horse that I've always really liked is the number 3 Bonny's South. Bonny South, 10-1 on the morning line, coming out of the Brad Cox barn. Obviously, Brad Cox is also sending out Essential Quality. Brad Cox has been lighting it up this year. Overall, last year, he's winning at 30% at this meet at Saratoga. Bonny South didn't run her best race last time out in the Delaware Handicap. If you look 2 and 3 back, much more her style. She's going to need pace to run into. She tends to be a stalking type that's going to sit just off the pace and close with a fury, which I think you're going to get between the likes of Swiss Skydiver as well as LETRUSKA. Another interesting horse to consider in this spot is number 8, Harvey's Little Goyle. She's out of the Bill Mott barn, and the Hall of Famer, he always seems to do this at least once a meet at Saratoga, where he's switching surfaces of a horse who's won graded stakes company on one surface and now is coming over to the other. Harvey's Little Goyle has run very well on the turf throughout this year and last year, now moving her back to the dirt where she has seen success before. And at a price, I think she's someone that you seriously have to consider. She's got the leading jockey at the meet in Luis Saez. So another one to consider at a great price if you're looking to beat LETRUSKA.
Yeah, it's been the summer of Saez up in Saratoga. Now, I also like the number 5 Royal Flag in this race, but I think there's a number of opportunities to go against the favorite LETRUSKA and potentially take down a price. That'll do it for us for now. Thank you for tuning in. You could follow me on Twitter at Sean Zerillo. You could follow Mike at mconti1023. We'll both be putting out tickets for Saratoga Saturday. Thank you for tuning in, and best of luck with your bets this weekend.